Welcome, my name's Alex Mugan. I'm the Marketing Director at Global Courier Company, and I'm presenting today a little bit about Careers in Africa Employer of Choice, which we produced at Global Courier Company in association with Willis Towers Watson. Hopefully I'm able to present something that tells you a little bit about the project and how it could be used in your business, and do feel free to send any questions to the link at the bottom of the video and we'll supply you with any clarifying information or any further details that you need. Global Courier Company was founded in 2002 to focus on recruiting excellence for emerging markets, and Africa is our longest standing market. We've recruited about 8,500 African professionals from around the world and across Africa into roles on the continent over that time. So what we wanted to do today was take you all through the reports for Careers in Africa Employer of Choice so that you can understand why this survey was carried out and what the study has to offer your business in terms of the insight available for different regions and sectors across the continent, so that you can see how you might be able to use that in your business. So throughout, if you have any questions, feel free to send an email to me directly. There'll be a link at the bottom of the video. So what were the aims and objectives we had when we were producing Careers in Africa Employer of Choice? Well, what we wanted to do was provide the continent's first Pan-African external view of employer attractiveness. So we wanted to definitively answer the question, what makes an employer attractive in the African market and which employers are the most attractive? So we'll start with a little bit about who the respondents are that sort of drive the study that you're looking at today. We've begun it with a survey. So we went to market with a survey from August to September 2015, and a fantastic 13,242 African professionals based around the world came back to tell us what they're looking for in an employer and which employers deliver that the best in their opinion. So you can see some demographic information on the screen. You can see that 70% of the respondents were male, 30% female. We got respondents from every single one of the 54 markets across the continent, and it's distributed as you see over on the right hand side. West Africa was a big segment, as were Southern and East Africa. Central and North Africa also important, and 17% of the respondents were outside of Africa, whereas 10% of the respondents were from within Africa but just outside their country of citizenship. One of the core objectives for us with Careers in Africa Employer of Choice was to answer this question that you see on the slide here. What's the most important factor for employees considering joining an organisation? And the big takeaway that hit all of our analysts as soon as the data came back was that on a global level you would expect base pay to be the top attraction driver. That's the common thread. But with this group, what we saw coming to the top of the rankings were learning new skills and the ability to make an impact on the organisation's performance. So the rest of the top 7 is pretty similar to what we would see on a global basis, but within Africa, learning new skills and making an impact on an organisation's performance are the key drivers, which we think is a really significant finding when we're thinking about crafting the employer value proposition in this market. So what we're seeing is a desire to make a difference, a desire to be developed, and effectively a kind of two-way investment between talent that wants a company to invest in its development, but then also wants to invest itself in developing the community, the company, and ultimately the continent, which is a really positive message. Another area we were able to draw some insight from is the comments section of the survey, where respondents have indicated to us what they're looking for in a work environment. So what we see running through it is a thread that respect is a really important concept in this market. One thing we offer through the reports from Careers in Africa Employer of Choice is a regional view. Everything that we can see on a continent-wide level, the attraction drivers, the salary information, the functions, the sectors, what people are doing, what they're looking for, we can replicate from any regional split. And as part of the study, we included 6 different regional splits: North Africa, West Africa, East Africa, Southern Africa, Lusophone and Francophone Africa, which we separated from the regions to just provide a specific view. What we're seeing on the screen now is an example of what we would look at from a regional point of view, and it's just a salary distribution for East Africa. So as I say, 20 or 30 slides per region, digging into different aspects of what the talent's interested in and what makes the talent different. This is salary level. In East Africa, it's a slightly lower than average salary level. That's influenced by markets like Ethiopia, where salary levels are lower on average. Tanzania also has a lower than average salary level, which is affecting these numbers, and the fact that within Kenya, more early career talent was able to respond to the survey as a developed market with more access to this kind of thing for its less experienced talent. So that gives overall a picture where the salary level is a little bit lower than you might see in some other markets. Moving on, West Africa now, just one slide from the many that are available on that market's data. And as well as showing a different region here in West Africa, we're also comparing 2 different demographic splits. One is West African talent that's currently resident in its country of citizenship, and one is West African talent that's internationally based. So that's talent that's working, Nigerians working in Ghana, or Ghanaians based in the USA, or anything like that. Now the reason we do this is because we do see differences in the motivating factors, in the chosen employers, and in the salary demands and tactical information for internationally based talent. Another area within the study that we focus on quite closely is a whole section around internationally based talent, both around the continent and outside the continent. So you can see from the flags on the bottom left there, we're showing both the key locations outside Africa and also the key kind of hubs within Africa where talent is very mobile. Now we're looking at another set of attraction drivers here, this time from the lower ranked attraction drivers, and also this time from the point of view of a particular sector. So you can spot the lorry in the top corner. We're now looking at what the logistics sector respondents are looking for and what matters more or less to them versus the overall average. And we offer this in the reports. Company by company, you get the right sector for your company to keep things relevant and focused. Now we'll move on to looking a little bit about one of the objectives of the report, where we focus on specific feedback for individual brands. When we did the study, we asked respondents to pick out which employers they would be interested in working for, and then to rate those employers against the attraction drivers that they'd previously used to determine what were the most important things to them. So what we can see here, for an example company, obviously this is masked and it's done on a company by company basis, it's an individual, is a rating for this company against attractiveness versus the whole survey pool of companies who were rated. That's the 19 out of 400 you can see at the top in purple. Attractiveness versus the rest of their sector, that's the little green block that you see in the bottom left. And then attractiveness for a particular relevant market. So we pick the most relevant markets for each employer and present their attractiveness in that market. Here's another example of employer-specific data, which again is masked, so you can't see who it is, and it would be different for every single employer. If you wanted to see what yours is like, just arrange one of those company reviews that we spoke about a minute ago. But you can see from this how an employer is received by the talent pool varies from region to region. So their overall rating is in the green box on the left. The company has a great response in East Africa, but in other regions they've had some challenges in communicating the right message to the talent pool because the results there are significantly worse. So when we put the various attraction drivers, various demographic splits, or this overall view through this type of analysis, we can see where we might find some areas where we need to focus on improving our message to the market. So here's another view from a brand-specific report where we compare different competing employers against the company who we're doing the analysis for. And this is just a summary slide of a whole section of the report where we compare the different scores for the different drivers. This slide just shows what happens to an employer's performance across all of those comparisons. So you can see, for example, in the case of company X, who is the subject company for this particular slide, that their great strengths are in job security and the perception of the brand overall among females, whereas there are areas to improve on, maybe in the perception of their ability to teach new skills or how they're perceived by the diaspora, where they rank a little bit lower. And on the subject of ranking employers, we've got the Courier in Africa Employer of Choice Top 100, which was initially published in African Business Magazine and is now available on our website. You can click the link in the video to go and see this. And it ranks the top 100 brands. It includes companies who won awards at the Employer of Choice Awards we held in Johannesburg in November, and it allows you to see how different brands rank against each other across different sectors. If your company made the top 100, you'll be able to take over this profile and fill it with great engaging employee-facing content that you can use to encourage people to look into your opportunities and reach out to your brand. So we've seen why we did the Courier in Africa Employer of Choice study. We've looked at some different aspects of the report. When you get these reports, there are 250 pages or so of data in here, which you can really use to construct a fantastic superior employer value proposition within the market, and then use it tactically, use the salary information, use the sourcing information to build great resourcing plans. If you have any questions or you need any further information at all about the study, feel free to reach out to us via the link. If you'd like to have us produce a few slides of data just about your company, again, reach out to us and book a quick demonstration using some of your actual data for those brand slides that we looked at. Thanks very much for your attention for this demonstration. We hope it's been helpful and that we're able to help you with some more insight from Careers in Africa Employer of Choice soon.